So in the last exercise, we created all of our tables with all of our fields, and we adjusted the size of the various text fields and specified our primary keys. And you probably noticed that a lot of the field names were abbreviated. So we're going to go back in and add some captions. Now you may be wondering, why abbreviate the field names? Well, quite often database files are used with computer programs, either on the web or maybe within a company on an intranet type of setting. And quite often computer programmers prefer the short names, I'll be quite honest, having done that for a living for a while. So typically field names are short, and then you can use the captions to make them a little bit more user-friendly, more English-like. So we're going to be adding some captions at this point, and we're going to edit our customer table. So we're going to right-click on that and go into Design View. And the first one we're going to do is Customer ID. So we're going to click on it, click down here on the caption row, and we will enter the user-friendly customer ID down here. And then we're going to click on F name, click on caption, and enter first name, which is a little bit more user-friendly. And we'll do the same thing with last name. Now, when you're clicking down in the field properties, make sure that you get on the right row. Okay, so each row does something a little different. And when we actually display the table, whatever we have listed for caption will display in place of the field name. So it's kind of like an alias. Street, really, I don't think needs one, but they want us to put in street address. And city is good. H phone, they would like home phone. And C phone, they would like cell phone. And serve cont is actually supposed to be service contract with a question mark. So we're going to save this, because anytime you make changes in Design View, you do have to save it. And then we're just going to hit the View button so you can kind of see the more user-friendly names actually displayed. You know, and if you best fit this, you should be able to see all of the text. Some of them, you aren't seeing all of it, so you can just best fit. And if for some reason, if you can't see all the fields, you know, feel free to close the shutter for the navigation pane. Kind of a personal preference thing, whether you want that open or not. And I'm going to show you kind of a neat little shortcut for best fit. I mean, you can go up and double click like we have been doing, but you can also go into more and choose field width. And then down here, click on best fit, and it will adjust all of them, which is actually pretty awesome and a lot easier than double clicking on that line between your field names. And then to get rid of all the highlighting, we can just simply kind of click over here. And at that point, not all of the fields should be selected. They should be deselected. And they would like us to go back to Design View. Let's go ahead and switch back. And they would like us to click on the zip code field. And they would actually like us to make this field required. By default, the only field that is required is your primary key. And you can actually click on any other field, come into the properties, and change it where it says required no. Click in there, click the arrow, and change it to yes. So you can make any field required. Just keep in mind that if it's required, that means the user has to key in data into that field. And if it's required, we probably should not allow a 0 length, especially in zip code, right? Because nobody has a nothing zip code. So we're going to change allow 0 length to no. And at this point, we're going to save our changes. And we're going to switch over to datasheet view, and we're going to actually key in a record. So we're keying in the data just to kind of test this out. And they want us to skip the zip, and it should have a fit about that because we said it should be required. And then for service contract, we want a check mark, so we're just going to do a space. Now I'm going to press the Enter key. And I am getting an error because I said zip code was required. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm going to key in the zip with the dash between the first 5 and the last 4. And now I'm going to press the Enter key 4 times to kind of move past all of those fields to my next record. So after entering the data, you'll notice street address isn't quite wide enough. And so I'm going to double click. The more field width works for field names, but not data. So with the data, you're still going to have to use the old-fashioned double clicking if there is data that you can't see. And at this point, we're going to close and save our changes.